A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadel Kabir. I'm so excited that you've joined us for political conversations. These conversations are simple, truthful, and biased. Prof puts them across in a hard-hitting way. How are you doing today, sir?
Great, except I strained my arm.
Yeah, you told me about that. You look for those masseuse, they call them.
Oh.
You look for them. I saw your reflections on the Mashujaa Day celebrations yesterday, and got me thinking, are you a hater of William Ruto, as some people are saying in the comments? Let me just read what you said first.
On Twitter.
For those people who did not hear, you said, "Dear Kenyans, happy Mashujaa Day. However, I am disturbed by the inherent contradictions of this hustler government. For instance, the president is today addressing the nation from a Uhuru Kenyatta flagship project. This is Uhuru Gardens. Today, the president gave the example of John Omondi, who was a carpenter on one of the big 4 housing projects, who is now a proud house owner in one of the projects. Was it therefore not a lie that the handshake sent Uhuru into slumber? For what projects would President Ruto be launching and opening if Uhuru had not been working? Finally, his long speech is full of Uhuru's ongoing projects and programs. Better yet, how was the long speech a Mashujaa Day speech? You're hitting at his speech, also hitting at some of the things he's going to implement, also saying that he was lying while campaigning. Where should we start? Let's start with, are you correct to say that these projects are Uhuru's projects, or are they a taxpayer's projects?
You know, sometimes why I have a problem debating people. The question is not who funded the projects. The question is, you said the handshake and BBI messed everything and interfered with the big 4, and Uhuru did nothing, zero. Then you are busy opening the houses that were built under the big 4. Don't you find the contradiction?
So where's
hizi nyumba unafungua Ruto, na wewe ulisema kuna kitu Uhuru alifanya, na unaenda kufungua nyumba zimejengwa na Uhuru in the last 2 years. That's the contradiction I'm talking about.
But
you are saying Uhuru did nothing, and where are you speaking from? You are speaking from Uhuru Gardens.
Okay.
You know, land that somebody related to you wanted to grab, we are told.
Yes.
Okay? And Uhuru has put up something magnificent. You are proudly talking from there. Those are the contradictions I'm talking about.
What should be?
That is why I advise leaders, work with intelligent people. These are the wheeler dealers. They can be good to make money, but you need intelligent people around you. They can tell you, enyewe bwana president, don't take that thing hapo kwa Uhuru. Hiyo kitu Uhuru alijenga. Don't take this thing to Mashujaa. Because you have been saying Uhuru has done nothing. And look at, you are going to speak to the nation and the world from Uhuru's flagship project. It's a contradiction.
It was regarding Gachagua that said it was a misplaced priority, not more of Uhuru doing
then
nothing.
Why are you there? What are you there?
Because it's already there.
Why are you there?
Why
they were saying Uhuru was actually constructing a mall, a family mall there. You know this contradiction. And I'm telling you, we are new in this business of government.
Okay.
Or even statehood. We are learning. But in public life and public affairs, perceptions are very important. I've repeated this. So work with the people who tell you certain things are symbolic. They send signals. You cannot go to Uhuru Garden, constructed by Uhuru, a wonderful piece, and address the nation from there. And you have been saying Uhuru was doing nothing. You come out bad.
Someone said...
So if you are surrounded by people like so-and-so, I can't mention, they can't see those. They can only see some deals we can make.
You can't mention the people.
You can't mention them. So surround yourself with the people who can think. Enyewe, wacha tupeleke kitu Mombasa. Hii Mashujaa Day.
Someone said...
Sababu Uhuru Park, hata Uhuru Park tukipeleka hivi karibuni, ni Uhuru ameitengeneza iko smart sana. Ama tupeleke Kasarani. Hiyo ni ya zamani.
No, a person of your stature, from the comments, you need to know that it was just politicking, and now people are beyond that. People are not thinking of those things. And now you're bringing that conversation back. We have a new president.
People are saying, let's put politics behind and support Ruto to govern.
Yeah.
But I'm pointing out at these contradictions because 2 things. Number 1, perception is very important in public affairs. Number 2, patterns are very important. And the contradictions can destroy. There are many reasons why the Soviet Union collapsed. But one of them was the inherent contradictions in the system. When you are running a system that has contradictions, that's why it will collapse. Look at the contradictions. The contradictions of the hustlers doing campaign on top of big vehicles, V8 and above, flashing millions. They are hustlers. Look at the contradiction of ministers being vetted, hustler ministers, billions, hundreds of millions. Those contradictions in public affairs, you may not see them, but they will bring you down. So you minimize those contradictions in public, you know, minimize them. Those contradictions, unaenda kuongea kwa kiwanja ya Uhuru amejenga juzi, na unasema alikuwa ameenda kulala. Those contradictions, cumulatively, they'll bring your government down.
You've said this.
So those people who are saying I hate Ruto should know it's me who means well for him. And Ruto should look for me and tell me, Manyora, you are a good man. Because I'm telling you.
If it's just about contradictions, why go ahead also speak about the speech as not being a Mashujaa
But that's
Day
again,
speech?
we have said this many times. We have said anytime we have a Mashujaa Day celebration, we don't see the Mashujaa coming out. So this is his first Mashujaa Day. We thought we would see a difference. Kenyatta didn't do it. Moi didn't do it. Kibaki didn't do it. Uhuru hasn't done it. So this is a new president. We want to see this day belonging to the Mashujaas. Not a time to give those boring speeches written by somebody who calls himself the best speech writer.
Who's
and
that?
Writing speeches of the 1920s.
Who's that?
You know, this stupid way of writing presidential speeches where you get pieces from every sector. Education sector in a letter, a bit. Foreign affairs on a letter, agriculture, then you piece together. That is outdated. I'm here, I can do it for them for free. Write a presidential speech you can deliver in 30 minutes and everybody is happy. And he can actually just speak without reading.
His speech was more
that is our work.
Of pledging to Kenyans what's going
then
to
you are
do.
reading the things you read
speaking
in
about fertilizer, speaking about manufacturing.
You go into the details of how you do the agriculture. Look, and your government is not constituted. The government is not constituted. The government is not formed. You cannot give the details of what you are going to do without a government. Some of those things require cabinet. You don't have a cabinet. Some of those things require parliamentary approval. That has not been done. So what are you telling the country?
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about, the speech. You keep it to Mashujaa Day. Remind Kenyans where we have come from. Kenyans who are talking about Raila are talking about history. Let people see that Americans know who they are and they are proud of who they are. They have an identity. That's why when our children are in America, they lack identity. Some of the issues our people do in America, including crime and depression, going depression and suicide, is this identity crisis. Because they are surrounded, they live among Americans who have an identity. They know who they are. They are proud to be Americans. Germans know their history. Japanese know their history. They know how they almost lost it. And here we are telling children, telling Kenyans that history is useless.
I think that is what they were saying in their campaign. We don't really have to dwell on that. We can dwell on the future though.
So during Mashujaa, they take that opportunity. You know, hiyo ilikuwa siasa. Ilikuwa kugonga Raila. Lakini now it is important that Kenyans know who they are. There's no better way of knowing who they are than looking at where they have come from. What price we paid. What sacrifices people made. And we are now identifying those. At a time like this, I'm advising these leaders of ours, William Samoei Ruto. A time like this, surrender some of these things you have taken from public. Some of your Weston mina peana. I didn't steal it. I'm a third generation buyer. I bought it innocent, it's true, from another person who had grabbed it. Mina peana kwa serikali. Niko na eka 1,000 nilipeana. Maskwata waliumia kianyewe kitafuta Huru, mimi nimepeana hiyo bure huko Taita Taveta. Lavu ambia Huru hata wewe fuata suit. Oh
come on, you know this cannot happen in this country. You're putting a lot of his responsibility on his back.
It has happened elsewhere. There must be a beginning. There will come a president in Kenya one day who will surrender what he has and set an example and tell the rest. Hata hii 10,000 acres of land you have, inakusaidia nini? Na tunaenda kuomba chakula. Let us set an example. Me, I have 15,000. I've returned it. Ipatie watu wanaweza kulima. Let it be a settlement scheme. Let it be a farming scheme. You see, these are the sacrifice. These are the things you do on a Mashujaa Day.
I'm just thinking about
in recognition of the bloodshed, in recognition of the suffering, of the pain people went through, of the detention camps. What have we done about those places where Kenyans were detained? Some of them are still there. We call them maximum security
But
prisons.
he's brought Miguna back, probably.
Miguna is a small
and
matter.
doing the wrongs of
Miguna is a small
Uhuru's
matter.
government.
There are people who paid for us to be where we are. Some of them are still suffering. There are people who thought when we become independent, they will get back their lands that had been annexed by the Mzungu. Set the examples. Talk about Mashujaa.
Then would you agree with me that bringing
Don't talk about fertilizers, what. Those are things you can talk about.
Miguna coming back during that day, is it this step towards the right direction?
Yeah, Miguna is just an individual who has come back to his home. I've never understood why Miguna
he was exiled, yes.
Why Miguna was not here. I've never understood why. That was, to me, is a non-issue.
Okay.
Miguna is a Kenyan.
Him being back,
yeah.
it's nothing for you.
It's nothing for him. It's nothing. And there was nothing when he came back yesterday. People thought the sun will stop.
I actually asked you if he'll do anything. And
Nothing.
you said
I told you
happen.
nothing. What will he do?
I was reading the newspaper and there were hits and misses in the speech we've talked about. You've said it was an irrelevant speech.
I don't want to use the word irrelevant. It was a long speech that was long on everything else except Mashujaa Day itself.
Then tell me about...
You know, we must understand the meaning of Mashujaa Day.
Yeah.
We would want to make Kenyans know we are here courtesy of certain persons. Okay?
Yeah.
That there are people who suffered for us to be where we are. There's this issue of Mau Mau, and it has been, let's not go in that direction. Those are polemics. But just simple, straightforward. That there are people who, even as we enjoy democracy today, along the line between 1963 and today, there are people who have paid prices. People have died. We want to recognize them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the time. It surprises me that it took us forever to give Mukami, the wife to Mashujaa, Dedan Kimathi, some small place to call home. All these years. It surprises me today we have not even been able to identify Kimathi's grave. That's what I would expect a president to say on a day like yesterday. My government shall within 30 days identify the grave of Dedan Kimathi and give his bones decent burial. That's what I expect to hear.
The place of unification in his speech, and he was looking at his newspaper today, and that was a miss there. There should have been the place of unification. Is this something that will haunt Ruto later, or are we in a place where people have forgotten about, last election, the ethnicities that have been taking over power? What impact will this have in the next 5 to 10 years?
You know, unity of the country is important. Dealing with tribalism is important. But the William Ruto side decided that was not important. And that's why they rubbished BBI. Because BBI was about addressing that one problem we have of tribalism being the source of all the problems we have.
Wait, you just said he decided. Was this a deliberate decision from you?
Yeah, they said it as much. They said that's not important. BBI was not a priority. There are better priorities.
Okay.
And finally, it will come to haunt them. I've been telling people, there are small things you can do now. They may look irrelevant.
Yeah.
They may even be irritating. They may look useless. But some years down the line, you look at them and say, how stupid were we? Why didn't we address that? Unity of the country is important. Addressing issues of tribalism is important. Addressing issues of Kikuyu Kalenjin being in power permanently is important. Because you will have to deal with it at some point, whether you like it or not.
Maybe Ruto will not be in power, so he doesn't really have to.
Future starts from now. 1 second from, as soon as I finish, I'm in future. Future is tomorrow.
Let's find it there. Future is
1 second from now. It's future.
Do talk again. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. If you haven't subscribed, please check Let's Talk Love KE. Awesome conversations there about how we can build our country, build our families. Even as we're progressing. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.